so I thought I'd go through some quadricep stretching with you today. We're going to do a standing balance one and also one with a chair, depending on the range of knee flexion that you can get. Standing upright against the wall is the first option. We can use our hand against the wall at shoulder height for a balance aid if we need. Now we're going to stretch the outside front of the thigh here. We're going to take a deep breath in, running the hand around to the back of our buttocks. We're going to bend this outside leg at the knee joint, draw the front of the foot in towards our hands and the heel towards our buttocks. So from the side, you can see heel is being drawn back. Now I'm going to squeeze my knees together and gently draw my tailbone down, pushing my hip bones gently forwards to come into a small range of posterior pelvic tilt. Here I've got a nice stretch at the front of the thigh and a little bit of my hip flexor too. Keeping my knees together and my hips gently drawn forwards. I'm not poking my tummy out and trying to tilt my pelvis forwards. In fact, I want to counteract that pressure along the T-zone and the lower back by coming into the small range of posterior pelvic tilt with the glutes and the tailbone drawn down. We can hold this stretch for 5 to 10 breaths. Once we've had enough, we can release, bring the foot back to the mat and have a little break before we alternate sides. As well as the option with the chair, this might be better for you depending on your knee or hip range. You can still use the wall for a balance aid. Standing at the very seat of the chair, if you want more padding, you can use a more padded chair or a cushion or a pillow underneath this. We're going to stay upright and get the T-zone to work. Now we're going to bend our knee and place our leg onto the chair. Now you can use the back of the chair itself to push against the front of the foot. We're going to shimmy this front leg forwards. Going to keep our hips level and rotated forwards. And now we can concentrate on drawing the tailbone down and getting a hip flexor stretch as well as the quadricep stretch. If I want more range into my hip flexor, I can bend the front knee, keeping the tailbone drawn down, squeezing the glute max, the T-zone on, and I've got a nice stretch of the front of the hip flexor down into the front of the thigh. This has less pressure on the knee range, and you might find it more comfortable in the kneecap itself. Keeping yourself upright, breathing for 5 to 10 breaths. Don't be tempted to let the tailbone lift up and for you to tilt the pelvis forwards. Counteract the workload through the lower back by drawing the tailbone down and squeezing the glutes and utilising the bend in the front knee if you choose. Now the further upright this calf muscle is onto the back of the chair, the more intense you'll get through that range of stretch in the hip flexor and the quad. Equally, you could use a deeper lunge forwards through the front knee, but be wary that you don't want to be over compacting pressure down into the knee or trying to tilt the pelvis forwards. We want to keep the range of lumbar extension quite minimal, and so we use that draw down of the tailbone to utilise that here, similarly the way that we do in our hip flexor stretch in kneeling. So I hope you had a good class. I hope to see you next week. Have a good session. Bye.